Hi, Misha. Nice to meet you. I've been wanting to ask this for 2 years, 2 Toronto conventions. You mentioned, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
If you read any liberation theology, and if you did, what you read, and if that has any influence on any of the social peace and justice work you do out in the community.
What are some examples of liberation theology texts?
Gustavo Gutierrez, Theology of Liberation. Cry of the Earth, Cry of the Poor, Leonardo Boff. So these are some Catholic writers, and what basically it is that the thesis is God has a preferable option for the poor. So a lot of his theological work in its manifestation in the world is to go out and outreach to those who are disenfranchised, if it be through ecology, social justice issues, economics.
I have not read a lot of liberation theology works. I have had some exposure to liberation theology. I have a good friend whose dad was actually a very prominent Paulist priest. I know that sounds weird to have a dad who's a priest, but his mom was a nun, so for death. And there are some. My father spent some time with Jesuit priests in the 70s, and that sort of informed his perspective on Latin American politics, which has in turn informed mine. There's a guy who's I would say, kind of an American version of liberation theology, running an outfit called Homeboy Industries in South Central Los Angeles. And they're an incredible organization. There's a book, Tattoos on the Heart, which I read recently, which is about his experience running that organization. And actually, Random Acts is doing a big fundraiser to support them. But he opened up, he was assigned, his parish that he was assigned was in this really gang-riddled South Central Los Angeles neighborhood. And all of his peers were like, coming out of seminary, were like, oh man, you are screwed. You just drew the short straw. That sucks. And he went and he turned the parish, the church into a homeless shelter at night. So he would allow homeless to come sleep between the pews at night, and then in the morning they'd sweep it out and people would come and, for service. And some of the parishioners were complaining, like, it smells in here, and what are you doing letting these homeless people in our church? And he basically gave that rendition of God's vision of our purpose on the planet. And that really resonates with me when I see that kind of Christian activism. I am inspired by it. And I, in a lot of respects, not all, but a lot of respects, I think that the current Pope is doing a good job in that respect. There are areas that need significant improvement, I think, in his overarching philosophy, but yeah, this has been a very polemic discourse. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.